Hello everyone. Myself Hridya Raj KV, Assistant Professor, Department of Optometry, Yenepoya School of Allied Health Sciences. Today we will be discussing on anatomy of extraocular muscles. To begin with the specific learning objective, at the end of the session, the audience will be able to explain the basic anatomy of extraocular muscles and describe the actions of the muscle. To begin with the introduction, the extraocular muscles are responsible for controlling the movement of the eyeball and upper eyelid. These muscles are also known as extrinsic eye muscles, distinguishing them from intrinsic eye muscles, which are responsible for controlling the movement of the iris. It is useful to classify the extraocular muscles into two subgroups, the muscles that move the eyeball and the muscles that move the upper eyelid. The extraocular muscles are located within the orbit but are extrinsic and separate from the eyeball itself. They act to control the movements of the eyeball and the superior eyelid. There are 7 extraocular muscles. The first is the levator palpebrae superioris. Then we have 4 rectus muscle, superior rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus, lateral rectus, superior oblique and inferior oblique. Functionally, they can be divided into 2 groups. That one is responsible for the eye movement, that are the recti and the oblique muscles, and one which is responsible for the superior eyelid movement, that is the levator palpebrae superioris, and we can abbreviate it as LPS muscle. Now let's dive deeper into individual muscles and their anatomical aspects and innervations. Now let's begin with the levator palpebrae superioris muscle. The levator palpebrae superioris is the muscle involved in the raising of superior eyelid. A small portion of this muscle contains collection of smooth muscle fibers known as the superior tarsal muscle, and it originates from the lesser wing of the sphenoid bone immediately above the optic foramen, and it attaches to the superior tarsal plate of the upper eyelid. And the action is to elevate the upper eyelid, and it is innervated by the levator palpebrae superioris by the oculomotor nerve, that is the third cranial nerve. In this figure, we can see that the levator palpebrae superioris muscle is originating from the sphenoid bone and get attached to the upper tarsal plate of the eyelid. So now let's see on recti muscles. So we have 4 rectus muscles: superior rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus and the lateral rectus. So all these recti muscles are originating from a common tendinous ring called as annulus of Singh. In the figure also we can see that all the rectus are originating from the annulus of Singh. So these are the extraocular muscles: superior rectus, lateral rectus, medial rectus and inferior rectus, and we have 2 oblique muscles, that are the superior oblique muscle and the inferior oblique muscle. So we'll begin with the superior rectus muscle. The origin of the superior rectus is from the superior aspect of the common tendinous ring and get inserted into the anterior superior aspect of the sclera of the eye. And the primary action of the superior rectus is to elevate the eye. That is, while looking up, the superior rectus will help in the elevation of the eye. Secondary action, it will assist with the medial rotation and adduction. And it is innervated by the oculomotor nerve, that's the third cranial nerve. In the figure also we can see that it is originating from the common tendinous ring and get attached into the superior part of the eyeball. Next is the inferior rectus muscle. It originates from the inferior aspect of the common tendinous ring and get inserted into the anterior inferior aspect of the sclera of the eye, and its primary action is to depress the eye. So while we are looking down, this inferior rectus muscle will help in looking down. So the secondary action is assisting with the lateral rotation and adduction, and the innervation is done by the same oculomotor nerve. And here in the figure also we can see that it is originating from the common tendinous ring and get attached into the inferior part of the eyeball. Next is the medial rectus. Medial rectus is originating from the medial aspect of the common tendinous ring and get inserted into the anterior medial aspect of the sclera of the eye. And the primary action is adducting the eye, innervated by the oculomotor nerve, that's the third cranial nerve. So in the figure also we can see that the medial rectus is starting from the common tendinous ring and get attached to the medial side of the eye. The last one is the lateral rectus. The origin is from the lateral aspect of the common tendinous string and get inserted into the anterior-lateral aspect of the sclera of the eye. And the primary action is to abduct the eye, and it is innervated by the abducent nerve, that is the 6th cranial nerve. So now let's discuss on the oblique muscles. We have two oblique muscles, that are the superior oblique muscle and the inferior oblique muscle. So there are two oblique muscles which are superior and inferior. Unlike the recti group of muscles, they do not originate from the common tendinous string. So we have already discussed that recti group of muscles are originating from the common tendinous string, that is the annulus of Sinn. But in the case of oblique muscles, it is not originating from the common tendinous string. So from their origin, the oblique muscles will take an angular approach to the eyeball, contrast to the straight approach of the recti muscle, and they attach to the posterior part of the sclera. Now let's discuss on the superior oblique muscle. It is originating from the body of the sphenoid bone, and it travels across the medial edge of the roof of the orbit and then hooks around the trochlea. It is a pulley-like structure at the superior medial corner of the orbital cavity, and the action of the superior oblique is to medial rotation, depression and abduction, and it is innervated by the trochlear nerve, that is the 4th cranial nerve. Here also we can see that in the figure the superior oblique muscle is travelling and it is not having a straight approach, it is getting an angular approach to the trochlea and get inserted into the posterior part of the sclera. And next is the inferior oblique muscle. It is originating from the inferior medial aspect of the orbital floor and get inserted into the lateral aspect of the inferior surface of the sclera posterior to the lateral rectus, and its action is lateral rotation, elevation and abduction, and it is innervated by the oculomotor nerve. So in the figure also we can see that the inferior oblique is getting attached near to the posterior part of the lateral rectus. Coming to the blood supply of the extraocular muscle, the blood supply to the extraocular muscle is primarily derived from the branches of the ophthalmic artery, which is the branch of the internal carotid artery. And also ophthalmic artery is again divided into medial muscular artery and lateral muscular artery. So this medial muscular artery is supplying to inferior rectus, medial rectus and inferior oblique, and also lateral muscular artery is supplying into lateral rectus, superior oblique and LPS muscle, that is the levator palpebrae superioris muscles. Now let's see on ductions. So ductions are the uniocular movement of the eye. We have 6 ductions. The first is the adduction. Adduction is the inward movement of the eye, that is the eye will move towards the nose side. And we have supraduction. Supraduction is the upward movement of the eye, that is while we are looking at the above, while we are looking the sky or anything above, the eye will move upward, that is the supraduction, also called as elevation. Next is the intorsion or the encycloduction, that is the cyclic inward movement of the eye, cyclic rotation of eye towards the nasal side, that is the intorsion. And we have abduction, that is the movement of the eye away from the nose side, that is the outward movement of the eye. And we have infraduction. Infraduction is also known as depression, that is while we are looking at down, the eye will move towards down, that is the infraduction or the depression. And we have extorsion or the excycloduction, that is the outward cyclic rotation of the eye. So in this table it is summarized the muscles and its actions. Here we can see that they are having primary, secondary and tertiary actions. Lateral rectus and medial rectus is having only primary actions, while the other rectus and the superior oblique and inferior oblique is having secondary and tertiary actions. So mainly lateral rectus, which is situated on the lateral side, will help in the abduction. The lateral rectus will be placed in the lateral side and medial rectus will be on the nose side, and the superior rectus, which is present on the upper side of the eyeball, which will help in the elevation, and inferior rectus, which is situated on the downside, will help in the depression. And two oblique muscles, that are superior oblique muscle and inferior oblique muscle, that will help in the intorsion and extorsion. And we have a muscle which is in the upper eyelid, that is the levator palpebrae superioris muscle that will help in the elevation of the upper eyelid. Now let's summarize this session. We were talking about extraocular muscles. The extraocular muscles are responsible for controlling the movement of the eyeball and the upper eyelid, and we have 4 rectus muscle and 2 oblique muscles. The muscle which is responsible for elevation of upper eyelid is known as the levator palpebrae superioris muscle, that is the LPS muscle. All the extraocular muscles are innervated by the oculomotor nerve except 2 muscles, that is the superior oblique muscle and the lateral rectus muscle. So the superior oblique muscle is supplied by the trochlear nerve, that is the 4th cranial nerve, and the lateral rectus muscle is supplied by the abducens nerve. This one you can remember with a mnemonic SO4 LR6, that is the superior oblique muscle is innervated by the 4th cranial nerve and the lateral rectus, that is the LR, is innervated by the 6th cranial nerve, that is the abducens nerve. These are the references that I have been using in the slides, and thank you for your attention.